before that is there is a survey and an author. This listing right here. See, I have a study Bible. It is a special study edition. I've had this for decades. What's nice about it, it does give you a little bit of information. If they can possibly give you information on the author, they will. So this is what they're calling a survey, giving you some information about the Book of Joel. A locust invasion had devastated the land of Judah as Joel, the son of Pethuel, reflected on this calamity. The word of the Lord came to him. He became a great prophet, proclaiming to his people the divine implications of this catastrophe. The book, which bears his name, records Joel's sermon upon this occasion. Then it goes on for more of a description. But yes, a locust invasion. The word of the Lord came to him according to the study portion of my Bible. And then he reflects as the word of the Lord comes to him. I'll read a little further. I'll start again. A locust invasion had devastated the land of Judah as Joel, the son of Pethuel, reflected on this calamity. The word of the Lord came to him. He became a great prophet, proclaiming to his people the divine implications of this catastrophe. The prophet describes the plague, that is the locust invasion. The prophet describes the plague in terms of a human army, which, moving on, leaves behind it a scorched earth. In this attack of insects, Joel knows God is at work. Indeed, this is God's army, and the day of its invasion is the day of the Lord, the day of God's judgment upon sinful people. The prophet urges the people to repent and extends the hope that God will relent and withdraw the judgment. There's a lot more, but I'm going to stop right there and go right into the book. King James Version is my study Bible. The word of the Lord that came to Joel, the son of Pethuel. Now, verses 2 through 7 are in red. Hear this, ye old men, and give ear, all ye inhabitants of the land. Hath this been in your days, or even in the days of your fathers? Tell ye your children of it, and let your children tell their children, and their children another generation. Verse 4, that which the palmer worm hath left, hath the locust eaten, and that which the locust hath left, hath the cankerworm eaten, and that which the cankerworm hath left, the caterpillar hath the caterpillar eaten. Awake, ye drunkards, and weep, and howl, all ye drinkers of wine, because of the new wine, for it is cut off or kept from your mouth. For a nation is come upon my land, strong and without number, whose teeth are the teeth of a lion, and he hath the cheek teeth of a great lion. He hath laid my vine waste, and barked or cut off the bark of my fig tree. He hath made it clean bare, and cast it away. The branches thereof are made white. Lament like a virgin girded with sackcloth for the husband of her youth. The meat offering and the drink offering is cut off from the house of the Lord. The priests, the Lord's ministers mourn. The field is wasted or destroyed. The land mourneth, for the corn is wasted. The new wine is dried up. The oil languisheth. Be ye ashamed, O ye husbandmen. Howl, O ye vine dressers, for the wheat and for the barley, because the harvest of the field is perished. The vine is dried up, and the tree languisheth. Languisheth is underlined gone, the word gone. The pomegranate tree, the palm tree also, and the apple tree, even all the trees of the field, are withered, because joy is withered away from the sons of men. Gird yourselves and lament, ye priests. Howl, ye ministers of the altar. Come, lie all night in sackcloth. A sackcloth is defined in the study Bible as mourning clothes, where you like a funeral mourning, mourning. So when it says sackcloth, according to the study Bible, it's mourning. Lie all night in sackcloth or mourning clothes. Ye ministers of my God, for the meat offering and the drink offering is withholden from the house of your God. Sanctify or consecrate ye a fast. Call a solemn assembly. Gather the elders and all the inhabitants of the land into the house of the Lord your God, and cry unto the Lord. Alas for the day of the Lord is at hand, and as a destruction from the Almighty shall it come. Is not the meat cut off before our eyes, yea, the joy and gladness from the house of our God? Verse 17, the seed is rotten under their clods. The garners are laid desolate. The barns are broken down, for the corn or grain is withered. How do the beasts groan? The herds of cattle are perplexed, because they have no pasture. Yea, the flocks of sheep are made desolate. Made desolate underlines suffering. O Lord, to thee will I cry, for the fire has devoured the pastures of the wilderness, and the flame has burned all the trees of the field. The beasts of the field cry also unto thee, for the rivers of waters are dried up, and the fire hath devoured the pastures of the wilderness. Chapter 2. Blow ye the trumpet in Zion, and sound an alarm in my holy mountain. Let all the inhabitants of the land tremble or shake, for the day of the Lord cometh, for it is near at hand. A day of darkness and of gloominess, a day of clouds and of thick darkness, as the morning spread upon the mountains. A great people and a strong. There hath not been ever the like, neither shall be any more after it, even to the years of many generations. A fire devoureth before them, and behind them a flame burneth. The land is as the garden of Eden before them, and behind them a desolate wilderness, yea, and nothing shall escape them. The appearance of them is as the appearance of horses, and as horsemen, so shall they run. Like the noise of chariots on the tops of mountains shall they leap, like the noise of a flame that devoureth the stubble, as a strong people set in battle array. Before their face the people shall be much pained. All faces shall gather blackness. Gather blackness, underline pale, Pale. Verse 7. They shall run like mighty men. They shall climb the wall like men of war. And they shall march every one on his ways, and they shall not break their ranks. Neither shall one thrust another. They shall walk every one in his path. And when they fall upon the sword, they shall not be wounded. They shall run to and fro in the city. They shall run upon the wall. They shall climb upon the houses. They shall enter in at the windows like a thief. The earth shall quake before them. The heavens shall tremble. The sun and the moon shall be dark, and the stars shall withdraw from their shining. This is also referring to Revelation 9, verse 2. Joel 2 and verse 10. You can write Joel 2, verse 10, and then maybe put a dash or a slash between them, and then write Revelation 9, 2. Verse 11. And the Lord shall utter his voice before his army, for his camp is very great. For he is strong that executeth his word. For the day of the Lord is great and very terrible. Terrible meaning awesome. And who can abide it? Verse 12 and 13 are in red. Therefore also now, saith the Lord, turn ye even to me with all your heart. Again, turn ye even to me with all your heart, and with fasting, and with weeping, and with mourning, and rend your heart and not your garments. That's interesting. And rend your heart and not your garments, and turn unto the Lord your God. For he is gracious. The second part of 13 is in black lettering. For he is gracious and merciful. Listen, I love seeing some of the descriptions of God. Here's a tiny part. For he is gracious and merciful, slow to anger, and of great kindness, and repenteth him of the evil. Who knoweth if he will return and repent, and leave a blessing behind him, even a meat offering and a drink offering unto the Lord your God? Blow the trumpet in Zion, sanctify or consecrate a fast, call a solemn assembly, gather the people, sanctify the congregation, assemble the elders, gather the children, and those that suck the breasts. Let the bridegroom go forth of his chamber, and the bride out of her closet. Let the priests, the ministers of the Lord, weep between the porch and the altar, and let them say, spare thy people, O Lord, and give not thine inheritance to reproach, that the heathen should rule over them. Wherefore they say among the people, where is their God? Then will the Lord be jealous for his land and pity the people. I don't know why. I'm going to stop for a moment. I envision the old school way of preaching and reaching out to the Lord, where an entire congregation of a tiny church and the pastor, some of their elders would go to the altar. They would be there into the evening. They would lay on their faces and seek after the word of the Lord, seek after repenting, seek after fasting. If someone is sick, something has happened, someone needs help, maybe some of their congregation is ill, and the pastor would be just like the congregants of the church, and he would be on his face, and they would be side by side, and they would be praying throughout the night, And then another group would come in, they would leave, and they would keep praying until there was a breakthrough. I think in tiny churches that's still happening, but a lot of these mega churches, not so much. Getting back to the scriptures, Joel chapter 2. Let's go with verse 18 again. Then after that, then will the Lord be jealous for his land and pity his people. I would rather have the pity of God than the mercy of men. Again, I would rather have the pity of God than the mercy of men. And pity his people. Verse 19, yea, the Lord will answer and say unto his people, the rest of this up to verse 20 is in red. Behold, I will send you corn and wine and oil, and ye shall be satisfied therewith. And I will no more make you a reproach among the heathen, but I will remove far off from you the northern army, and will drive it into a land barren and desolate, with its face toward the east sea, and its hinder part toward the utmost sea, and its stink shall come up, and its ill savor or foul smell shall come up, because it hath done great things. Fear not, O land, be glad and rejoice, for the Lord will do great things. Be not afraid, ye beasts of the field, for the pastures of the wilderness do spring, for the tree beareth her fruit. The fig tree and the vine do yield their strength. Be glad then, ye children of Zion, and rejoice in the Lord your God, or Elohim, for he hath given you the former rain moderately, and he will cause to come down for you the rain, the former rain and the latter rain in the first month. And the floors shall be full of wheat, and the vats shall overflow with wine and oil. And I will restore to you the years that the locust has eaten, the cankerworm, and the caterpillar, and the palmer worm, my great army which I sent among you. And ye shall eat in plenty and be satisfied, and praise the name of the Lord your Elohim, that hath dealt wondrously with you, and my people shall never be ashamed. And ye shall know that I am in the midst of Israel, and that I am the Lord your Elohim, and none else. And my people shall never be ashamed. Again, and my people shall never be ashamed. And it shall come to pass afterward that I will pour out my spirit upon all flesh, and your sons and daughters shall prophesy. Your old men shall dream dreams, and your young men shall see visions. And also upon the servants and upon the handmaids in those days will I pour out my spirit, and I will show wonders in the heavens and in the earth, blood and fire and pillars of smoke. All the rest of this, except for verse 16 in chapter 3, are in red. Here's the end of chapter 2. The sun shall be turned into darkness, and the moon into blood, before the great and terrible day of the Lord. And it shall come to pass that whosoever shall call upon the name of the Lord shall be saved or delivered. For in Mount Zion and in Jerusalem shall be deliverance, as the Lord hath said, and in the remnant whom the Lord shall call. Chapter 3, last chapter. 4. Behold, in those days and in that time, when I shall bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem, I will also gather all nations, and will bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat, and will plead with them there for glory, for my people and for my heritage Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations, and parted my land. And they have cast lots for my people, and have given a boy for a harlot, and sold a girl for wine, that they might drink. Yea, and what have ye to do with me, O Tyre, Tyre, and Zidon, and all the coasts of Palestine? Will ye render me a recompense? And if ye recompense me, swiftly and speedily will I return your recompense upon your own head. Recompense is repay upon your own head. Because ye have taken my silver and my gold, and have carried it into your temples, my goodly, pleasant, or precious things. The children also of Judah and the children of Jerusalem have ye sold unto the Grecians, that ye might remove them far from their border. Behold, I will raise them out of the place whither ye have sold them, and will return your recompense upon your own head. And I will sell your sons and your daughters into the hand of the children of Judah, that they shall sell them to the Sabaeans, to a people far off. For the Lord hath spoken it. Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles. Prepare war. Wake up the mighty men. Let all the men of war draw near. Let them come up. Beat your plowshares into swords, and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. Assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together round about. Thither, cause about. Thither cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Lord. Let the heathen or nations be wakened, and come up to the valley of Jehoshaphat. For there I will sit to judge all the heathen round about. Put in the sickle, for the harvest is ripe. Come, get you down, for the press is full. The fats overflow, for their wickedness is great. Multitudes in the valley of decision. For the day of the Lord is near in the valley of decision. The sun and the moon shall be darkened. Here's that reference again. That reference again about it being darkened. For the sun and the moon shall be darkened, and the stars shall withdraw their shining. The Lord also shall roar out of Zion, and utter his voice from Jerusalem. And the heavens and the earth shall shake, but the Lord will be the hope of his people. Again, but the Lord will be the hope of his people, and the strength of the children of Israel. The rest of this is all in red from verse 17 to the end. So shall ye know that I am the Lord your God, dwelling in Zion, my holy or set apart mountain. Then shall Jerusalem be holy, and there shall no strangers pass through her any more. And it shall come to pass in that day that the mountains shall drop down new wine, and the hills shall flow with milk, and all the rivers of Judah shall flow with waters, and a fountain shall come forth of the house of the Lord, and shall the water in the valley of Shittim. Egypt shall be a desolation, and Edom shall be a a desolate wilderness, for the violence against the children of Judah, because they have shed innocent blood in the land. But Judah shall dwell forever, and Jerusalem from generation to generation. For I will cleanse their blood that I have not cleansed, for the Lord dwelleth in Zion. And that is the end of the book of Joel. I find that interesting, how the sun shall darken, how the stars shall shall not shine. Thank you so very much for tuning in. I'm going to come back with some more scripture, but I want to keep this in one video just for now. Love y'all.